Hello, everyone, and welcome to Littlefield Live Streaming. Tonight's show is Comedians You Should Know. Now, please welcome your host, Mike Leibovitz.
You're on mute.
Hey, everybody. How we doing? All right, welcome to the show. Is this thing on? This is a whole new world. Welcome to Comedians You Should Know, Comedian You Should Know's first live streaming show, Dystopian Present Live. This is very exciting. We're glad that you're here. If you're here, I don't can't tell if anyone's here, but if you are, that's great. I have to say, as a stand-up comedian trying to adapt to these Zoom shows, I do really feel like an old vaudevillian trying to transition to radio, with the, you're telling me if I talk into this metal sphere, they can hear me around the globe? I call it witchcraft. Witchcraft, see? I figure in my imagination, vaudevillians were all obsessed with witchcraft. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But anyway, the show is called Dystopian Present Live. And we, during this pandemic, we want you to think about this show like our gift to you. Except, of course, we do encourage you to pay for it. So think of it like one of those presents that you buy for yourself. We really do want you to hang out, and we miss you all so much. We are comedians. We have a sort of desperate need for real-time feedback in the form of laughter, and we don't have it without you, and we miss you a lot. And this show, if you can contribute to it, we really appreciate it. All the proceeds are going to be divided between the performers on the show, the staff at Littlefield, and the Domestic Workers Alliance, which is a nonprofit that supports nannies, home health care providers, and other domestic workers generally. So in this crisis and beyond this crisis. So if you can contribute, that's great. Thank you so much. If you can't contribute, we understand. We're sure you serve some purpose in the greater plan. It's tough, man. In this crisis, we can't see our friends, we can't see our family, but at least we do have Zoom. Thank God for Zoom. And there's advantages. I don't miss putting on pants to have drinks. I can see my old friends more than I have in a long time. My friends who live far away. My parents live 800 miles away, and I see them more now than I ever have. So, you can say what you want about the virus, but at least it had the decency to wait to strike until we had the technology. I imagine like if you lived through 1918, right? What would that be like, trying to have a virtual happy hour, through the mail, right? Correspondence, drinking, you write a letter to your buddy, hey, I'm having a shot of whiskey. Oh, drop in the mail. A week later, he writes back, nice, dude. Red wine for me and Martha. Hashtag stay strong. By the time you get it, you've lost both parents. Your world is turned upside down. You're like, motherfucker, how can you drink at a time like this? You never talk to me. So, and I do have to say, the virus, I do feel there is an element of betrayal to it, right? I feel like it's a traitor, because while we're all merging with the cloud, the machines have been taking over for a long time, and I always expected them to win, but I didn't expect it to be a biological organism that would deliver the final blow, So it feels like a betrayal to me. Ooh, V-Ray, if you want to get Shakespearean on that ass. A lot of people out there, for about 2 seconds, we all came together, and now people are mad at each other again, which is somewhat comforting that, some things don't change. I don't know, man. The states are reopening. It seems early. I'll tell you, like, personally, if we can't, I'm anxious for stuff to open up because, personally, I steal things from bars and I am running out of glasses. So need that bar to open up again. Turns out the glasses don't last very long when you treat them like they're stolen. If there's any lesson I've taken from the quarantine, it's to treat the things that you've stolen like you bought them, because there's no telling when we'll be allowed to steal again. That's a new hot take. It's time to open up this economy. The damn government telling me I can't steal from my local businesses. I've gained a new appreciation for my kids during the pandemic. Spending all of our time together, and I think people like to have kids because they're tired of feeling mediocre all the time. Like, we want to feel special for a change. It feels amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but it feels amazing to have someone look you in the eye and say, "You opened a pickle jar all by yourself." It's like, yeah, I am pretty great. Hey, anyone want to play chess? I'm starting to feel like grandmaster up in this bitch. I don't think I ever won a game of chess before I had kids. Now I'm fucking undefeated. So I've been reading to my kids a lot, and it's a great way to connect with them. I think I gotta say, I don't think writing children's books is that hard. Is that controversial? I don't know. Like, I have some of the books are great, but so half of these books, I try and think about the pitch, just like the author in there, like, okay, there's this kid, right? And it's time for him to go to bed. But see, the thing is, he doesn't feel sleepy yet. Well, I don't want to give away the ending. They're like, tell me what happens. I'm on the edge of my seat. Well, let's just say he goes to sleep. And they're like, I don't know. I feel like I've read this one before. He's like, yeah, sure. But in this one, it's not a family of people. It's a family of rabbits. What? And the publisher's like, it's genius. Fire up the presses. Do we still use presses? Fire up something. And for God's sake, somebody paint some watercolors. That's my hot take on kids' books. Man, I miss live stand-up. This is fun. It's a weird thing too, that with comedy, it's all about the timing. Like, before this pandemic started, I had just taken a job as a comedian on cruise ships. So that's timing for it. If you want to know why I started working on cruise ships, it's because it was on my vision board for a long time. Be a cruise ship comedian. It was on my vision board. I didn't mean to put it there. I had a picture of me at Madison Square Gardens, but I stuck it to the board with a cruise ship magnet. So, you got to be careful what you ask the universe for, because it's a real sticker about that manifestation is a motherfucker, It's weird that the cruise ship has got to be like the most unhealthy place in the world. It's just like buffets, bars open at 7 a.m., all this shit. They have a gym on the ship. They have a gym. They have one. They have a gym the way McDonald's has salads. It's there. No one expects you to use it, but they at least got to say they offered it to you. There's a doctor on the cruise. Don't worry, everyone. There's a doctor. Everything's going to be fine. I don't know how you get to be the doctor on a cruise ship, but I'm guessing it's not by graduating first in your class. I don't know. Right, because in America, if you want to become a doctor, you go to medical school, you do a residency. Out on a cruise ship, that's maritime law out there. You might have joined as a cook, but if the captain says you're a doctor, well, you're a fucking doctor now. That's just how it goes. I think it would be fun to see the cruise ship doctor as like my regular doctor, because I'd love to go to a doctor who signs off on all the hedonism that goes on those ships. Just go in for my weekly physical and sit down and have him be like, okay, Mr. Leibovitz, it says here you have 6 drinks a week. Oh boy, we're going to want to see that up in the 15 to 20 range. Let me write you a prescription for a Carnival cruise. There you go. The one cool thing that I do miss about working on the cruise ships, though, is the crew on the ships were from all over the world. And it was just neat to meet all of the different people and see all the different jobs that they have. Like, they actually have a child care on the cruise ship. It's just called Camp Ocean. That's where the parents go and drop their kids off and run around the casino and live the lives that they would have had. And I met one of the counselors, the Camp Ocean counselors in the crew bar. There's a crew bar, and believe me, the camp counselors on those ships, they drink too. Everyone on those ships drinks. It's not just the captain. They all drink. And I remember I met the counselor, and she's like, "Oh, you do comedy on Camp Ocean," but the way it sounded to me, she said, "I'm Cambodian." She had a little accent. It sounded to me like she was telling me her nationality. And I didn't want to sound stupid, so I was just like, "Oh, cool, Cambodia, beautiful country. What's it like there?" And she's like, "It's bloody awful, a bunch of little tyrants running around." And I was like, "Oh man, that sounds terrible. I'm glad you got out." Are there others like you? And would you believe that down in the crew bar on this cruise ship, there was a whole table of Cambodian refugees just drinking to forget. It was a relief, of course, when I learned that Cambodia isn't a war-torn country. It was, in fact, the place where the children of the people on the cruise ship make the Carnival cruise hats and tote bags and coffee mugs and all that kind of thing. So I thought it was some kind of war situation. Turns out just a forced labor camp. So that was good. Well, that is my opening set. I feel like I feel like I effectively wrote and told some jokes. I do want to apologize for the virtual background, everybody. We were starting the show and I didn't have time to move the meth lab, so. Who's got time to move the meth lab in this economy? Am I right, ladies? Anyway, let me tell you who is going to be on the show tonight, and then we will start the show. We have all of our regular, our favorite performers, the producers of the show, and we're going to think of it like a sort of comedy pandemic check-in for you guys and for us and for everybody. So we have Carmen Lagala, David Drake, Jeff Steinbrenner, and of course, Soren Choksi is a producer of the show. He couldn't make it, but we are checking in with his friend and close associate, Indian Dog. So I thought before moving on and doing any more stand-up or anything, we just check in with Indian Dog and see how he's doing. So is Indian Dog there? There he is.
Lebo, so good to see you.
You, Indian Dog. I've missed you a lot. I gotta ask, man, how is it hard not being able to pee on fire hydrants?
Dude, guess what, man? I'm not afraid. I'm out there living my life, doing whatever I want. I'm doing my regular routine, rubbing up against things, barking, being Indian. You know what I do.
Oh man.
Bark, bark, woof, woof, and I'm Indian, and I'm not stopping, pandemic or not.
Well, that's so touching, Indian Dog. I'm so glad to hear that that your spirits are so high. Do you ever worry about like infecting your owner or anything like that?
No, man, I don't worry about that kind of stuff at all because I'm a dog. I've had to live a life where I had to be thinking always about what humans wanted. And now the humans are all inside. And me, raccoons, pigeons, other wildlife, we're taking over, man. We're just taking it back to the BC type era and doing our thing. So it's great being a dog right now. And it's great being Indian right now because there's a lot of good stuff on the Indian WhatsApp conspiracy threads. So I'm kind of living the best of all lives, man. And also, nobody's blaming dogs for any of this.
Yeah, man.
You never hear dogs coming up as one of the possible animals that might have spread this. It's always bats. That other weird animal that looks kind of like, I don't know, Arthur the Aardvark. Sometimes monkeys get mentioned, but nobody is talking about dogs.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's kind of like a deafening silence? Do you feel like we should be talking about dogs or?
No, man, I'm just right now it's a nice time to be a dog. Right now it's a nice time to just kind of.
So Indian Dog, I understand that that as a dog.
Yeah.
You're having a great time right now.
I'm sorry, I just got sad real quick.
Oh no!
No, my emotions go up and down like that nowadays.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of us humans too.
Okay, ask your question.
Well, I was just wondering, like as a dog, you feel like this is a good time for you, but what do you feel like? You're not only a dog, you're also Indian, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So like, I mean, what do you feel like? How does that make you, special? How does that set you apart from American dogs, being that you're a dog like American dogs, but you're actually Indian?
Well, look. First of all, in comedy, there's no money. Yeah, go ahead, vape it up, buddy. In comedy, there's no money being an American dog. Okay, that's not interesting. Industry isn't interested. You're not going to get in any diversity programs. That's not a good look being an American dog. Being an Indian dog, on the other hand, oh, baby, I got people knocking at my door 24/7. They want to know my experience. They want to know my cultural background. They want me to tell stories that have never been told. And that's what Indian Dog is doing. I am special, Mike Leibovitz, because I'm the first Indian dog to do it. And I might not be the last, but I'm going to get all that money.
Well, I hope that you end up being not just an Indian dog, but an Indian dog millionaire. I really do.
That's what I'm in this for, Lebo. You think I want to do this Zoom for my creative goals? No, I'm in it for money, baby.
Well, a lot of people are watching this stream. I think
I can tell you the exact number, 22.
Is it 22?
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel better somehow.
You should feel good.
Because it feels, how many people it feels like are watching?
Roughly 50 now it's come up to.
Oh, it's 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it feels like 0. So the fact is excellent. Well, all 50 people are seeing that Indian dog, the Insta handle there.
Yeah,
So,
at the brand is Indian Dog.
The brand is Indian Dog. Indian Dog, we appreciate you hanging out with us, checking in, giving us your unique perspective that we as Americans don't have, and that our dogs as American dogs don't have.
Your dogs don't got a goddamn thing, man. They don't know anything about nothing.
So throughout the show, please feel free to jump in with your unique perspective, because we really do want to know what you as a dog and you as a brand think about what's going on. So thanks very much. Everybody give it up for Indian Dog. Huh?
Hey!
All right, moving on. Let's see. I got to look through our next comedian is very exciting. She has been on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. But right now she is at home in her bedroom. Very excited to share her with you. Please welcome the very funny Carmen Lagala, everybody.
Oh my God. Hello. Yeah, I love that this is on. It's on YouTube, but it's the same people that we had yesterday in this chat when every time I talk to you guys, I'm eating something, and I apologize. I can't figure out Zoom. I don't know. I can't figure out the rules. I'm just being rude, I can't not look at my own face. Your own face is there the whole time. Are you guys like talking to your family? And I'm like, I'm too distracted. I can't hear what they're saying. They'll be like, we're running out of hand sanitizer. And I'm like, should I get bangs? This is a lot of forehead, a lot of shine. My family is great. I don't know if they're watching. They might be. What's up? Last time, my mom watched a show last week, and then she just sent me a message right after I got off stage that said gross. So we have to look forward to. My family has asked me to come stay with them, and I was like, well, I'm afraid I'll kill you. And they're like, oh yeah, the virus. And I'm like, sure. That could be it. I mean, that's what I'll tell police. It's very exciting. People have been asking me what's your favorite thing, Carmen, about COVID-19, and it's hard to pick just one, But I think if I had to choose, I would say the advertisements. They're in unprecedented times. My favorite one is one that came from Express, the clothing line. They posted this. It just said, days blurring together. Like, are they okay? What's going on with Express? Like, should someone check in on them? What's a concern? They took it down. I screenshotted it, think it was, but they took it down. But I was like, oh man, just lean into it. You know, you're trying to sell pants. Just be like, it's a pants-demic. Is the very fabric, the fabric of society disintegrating before your eyes? Well, the fabric of our genes won't do that to you. And right now they're COVID 19% off, you know? Just have fun with it. This is a new thought that people don't think is funny, but I don't know if you guys are cleaning while you're in quarantine. I've been cleaning a lot. I've discovered that there is a thick layer of dust under my bed. And my friend goes, did you know that dust is 80% human skin? I'm like, oh, cool, great. Can't wait to be terrified of that. I'm still scared. I haven't aged out of somebody grabbing my ankle under the bed when I get into bed. And now I have to worry about, there's an actual skin man under my bed. That doesn't help anything. I can't reach it with the broom. That's all I have. It's terrifying. It's people are like, clean up after yourself. I'm like, clean up yourself. There's not a dust bunny under your bed. There's a man bunny. So just a little COVID night. I don't know. Let's see. Here's a gross one. My mom will hate this if she's watching. It's fine. I live with a lot of people in New York City, and I found that there's one place in the whole house to masturbate by yourself, and that's the bathroom. But the bathroom is where all of the cockroaches live. So it's always this weird situation where I'm in there like trying to come up with a fantasy, but also trying to fantasize that I have a better life. You know, I'm just like, what would it be like if I didn't live with roaches and there's a gangbang or whatever? I don't know, insert whatever you want in there. Not telling my secrets. Last thing I'll say, I like to, in this quarantine, I've been going for some walks. I like to walk past the graveyard. Love a graveyard. It's a fun place. And in this graveyard, there is a headstone, and it just has the last name on it, and the last name is Gay. And before we tighten up on this joke, just know that some of my best friends are dead. And so it's either the last name or it's just a fun way to come out. But the thing about it is that I just think that's like a fun opportunity to put something else on the screen. Like, I just think if you have a headstone, it just has your last. If that were my last name, I would probably also have them etch an arrow into the gravestone, just pointing in either direction, really, you know, because, you know, in real day-to-day life, that's a very homophobic joke to call things gay. But if you're in a graveyard, no matter who you're next to, that's fun. Somebody's got like a beautiful statue of a tree, and they're like loving husband, devoted father, and then next to them is my headstone that's like gay. It's just hijinks in the graveyard, you know. I think it's if I'm gonna get canceled for it, you know, what better time than when I'm dead in a graveyard. The end.
Yeah, baby.
Thanks, buds. Oh, I forgot I had this background.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Whoa.
Hey, we could have all done that. We would have. Yeah, man. I also think as a comedian, if you're gonna be canceled, this is a pretty good time. When canceled, dude. I was thinking, man. If you go into the bathroom to masturbate and cockroaches live, where do you think the cockroaches go to masturbate?
Great question. It's always hard to tell what they're doing when they're like on their backs, moving their arms and stuff. I have I'll find them dead in my house. I would love if other people would chime in and tell me if you find them dead, because I've read that they can survive. They can survive a nuclear holocaust, but I find them dead in my kitchen, which is so insulting.
You know what I think is when you find a dead cockroach in your kitchen, it snuck out to, you know, crank one out, and it got autoerotic asphyxiation.
I find them dead all the time too in my home.
Oh, okay.
All
So they
mine
just-
are
they-
alive.
I don't know where they
Yeah.
jack off. I don't have that information.
Under the
Man.
stove? I don't know.
Sounds like so
Hey.
much gross stuff in your life, man. All that human skin. That's really scary to think
I'm
about.
just, yeah, come visit me, everyone. Just a lot of just 80% just shed, just snake skin people and cockroaches. My whole house is just filled with them. House, apartment,
Yeah.
room, my room, the room I live in, the box.
Yeah, man. That's wild. I don't know.
Mhm.
Somehow, I don't know why it's gross to think like 80% of dust is human skin. Like, would it be better if it were a different kind of skin? I don't know. Like, would it be
Oh yeah, a different animal.
like what? Like, would that be better?
What kind?
Indian dog skin. Say
That would.
Indian dog is
My skin is soft like a blanket.
All right. Okay. Well, Carmen Lagala, everybody, give it up for.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, buds.
I'm out here enjoying the Northern Lights. I dropped acid before the show, so I figured this would be a good background. We're just going to move on with our next comedian. You know him. You love him. He needs no introduction, but I am required to give him one. Please welcome the very funny Jeff Steinbrunner, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Unmuted. How's it work? I set up this background all day. It's a real background. It's the nicest place of my house now. And if you can see the rest of the room, which I won't show you, it's a disaster. And I hope that's the way everyone does Zoom. Check out these duds. I've been sweating my ass off in this very shiny suit. I can see that my friend Andy, she helped me procure this item. It would be a funny gag if I didn't have pants on. No, matching pants. So tight, and they feel awful. I've been sweating in them immensely. Hey, now that we're severed from the audience, this is a good time for people to jump into stand-up, I was thinking, because now it really doesn't feel like there's any risk whatsoever. There's no feedback. I don't know if people are smiling or hating it. So I thought I was going to show off how can you get into stand-up these days? I was going to check with sharing a screen, and you start exactly where you start anywhere. On Wikipedia, my God. I'd actually just, the first time I Wikipedia'd stand-up comedy today, if you didn't know, for the U2 song, stand-up comedy, it has its own page. But also, who's this guy? This is prime real estate. If anyone watching right now has a Wikipedia account, edit me in here. There's no reason. This guy's in Oslo, and he's taking up prime real estate in stand-up comedy. Disambiguation. It turns out there's all sorts of things. Look, this girl also Oslo, really representing on the page. Stand-up comedians, what you may suffer from is something called imposter syndrome. I know we all have it in this group because we're all big successes, and sometimes we feel we're undeserving. What is it? I don't even know. It's a psychological pattern which one doubts their own accomplishments. Look, we set this up and I'm already having doubts in it. That's not good. But it's different from fraud. This is the worst part about Wikipedia is things stay purple and you know that I actually was in a Wikipedia hole. I was looking at frauds. This is a special one over here. Look at this. Malicious castration. Jeez Louise. It's a common law if you maim another person's genitalia, and North Carolina seems to be the hotbed of that. So avoid NC while you can. Going back to imposter syndrome, though, you can do it by these. You have these measures. 1, the imposter cycle. 2, the need to be special or the best. Oh yeah, we're feeling it. Characteristics of a Superman or woman. Fear of failure, getting out of bed in the day for sure. Denial of ability and discounting praise. Yeah, it happens. And then this last one, feeling fear, guilt about Yeah, none of that. So actually I'm doing okay. But then that actually made me think, wow, I just wanted to be a real imposter because that's not something you can do anymore. Now in these days where we have technology and social security numbers, which is a real bummer. I was looking up famous imposters when I jumped off of that, and they came off of this wonderful man. This is John Dadris. He died in 1318. When was he born? Does not matter. He was also known as John Powderham. That's right. Well, we're all going to be eating out of our space tubes when we're on Mars colonies. John of Powderham. He was said to have an uncanny resemblance to Edward II. I mean, my God, look at this guy. As you know, with Edward II, famous blue tunic. He was wrapped up in a tortilla and he had a croissant on his head and he was always waving from his blanket. That dude was an obvious stand-in. So what was Dadris's claims? Well, he said he was the real king of England, and observers said he closely resembled Edward because he was tall and good looking. But you know what? Unlike the king, he was missing an ear. So we got to explain this. What did Dadris say? He said as a baby, a royal servant was supposed to look after him, and she let a sow chew it off because childcare back then was not like it is today. What is a sow? Oh, remember we had feral hogs. That was a whole meme a while ago. Tina sus. That is one sus hog. And it ate off this dude's ear. Then he said that the woman, knowing that she would be severely punished by the king, just swap out a baby. It's that easy. And then this explains why the king enjoyed many rustic lower class pursuits such as ditch digging and farming. What's farming? Oh, that guy's loving it. Okay. Let's see if there's a ditch. Yep, perfect. Dadris was finally arrested, and upon his arresting, he insulted the king and he offered for trial by combat. But Game of Thrones wasn't written yet, so they just said, no, you're guilty of sedition. And then Dadris confessed during the trial. He said he made up the whole story and blamed his pet cat, which he said was the devil in disguise. This is genius, except he was immediately found guilty, and then him and the cat were both hanged, which is a shame for the cat. Although I don't know if they had to build something special for that, or if they got like Indian Dog, if he had like a little execution mask to just put the cat down.
I would love to do it, baby.
Wouldn't it? Throw a beagle with a little hood on. That would have been adorable execution. So I was pretty stoned while I was looking at all this, and then I was thinking about that sow that chewed off his ear, and I was thinking about the devil and chewing on an ear, and that made me think of water chestnuts, because water chestnuts are the most disgusting food known to man. And I decided to look up water chestnuts. If anyone doesn't know what a water chestnut is, or worse, if you like a water chestnut, here's the page for it. First of all, it's a grass-like sedge. What? That's a terrible start. What is it? Well, it's from this family of graminoids. Oh my God, this is getting even worse. So these are herbaceous plants. I don't even know what that means. Grown in many countries for its edible corms. This is what people enjoy eating, the corms of a chestnut. It says it's a water caltrop. Look at what some of these things are. Also known as a buffalo nut, a bat nut, a devil pod. These sound like Joe Biden insults. You bat nut devil pod, you gotta be kidding me with your mustache nut. I don't. Went down to what does it taste like? It's a raw water. It's slightly sweet and crunchy. No, it isn't. It tastes like cartilage that got dropped in your food. I hate it. So then I was trying to think if anybody else want to know what it's like to do comedy. This is our logo here. It's a CYSK. So you guys have no idea how much we fought over this flyer, and that was what we came up with in the end. One of my absolute favorites. This was supposed to be brand awareness. What I found out here. This is so consumers can recognize the brand upon presentation, either at point of sale or viewing as a visual package. My favorite brand of all time. Boom, right here, Arm & Hammer. You guys cannot get this wrong. You just look at it, you say what you see, and that's exactly what the brand is. That's what I based this off of. Boom, CYSK. Look at this Google search. Boom, there it is. Oh shit, hey, look at this page. Oh, look at all these people. Hey, there's Mateo. Oh, okay. I'm not on here. There's Mike. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. There's Mike again. Dave made it. No, still not me. Where? Okay, well, I bet I'm in here somewhere. Carmen, she's the newest member. She beats me. Great. And there I am. Okay, 400 pages down. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop sharing here. The thing is, I love that branding right there. So if branding, all it is it's mind control. So what I've done is I found a couple different logos. What you guys can do is call out the logo as you see it. And I'm going to say it as what it really is, because you've been trained to think what this logo is, but instead I'm going to tell you what it is just based off of how it looks. So here it is. Logo number 1. What is this?
McDonald's.
Piss mountains right there. Just big screaming miles. It's what their fries smell like. Number 2. What do we got right here?
Starbucks.
That is fish prostitute. I don't know why she's actually holding her fins over her earlobes. That's offensive. We got this one right here.
Robot.
Android.
And no, it's a sentient butt plug. We got 2 left. What's this one right here?
Audi, baby.
That is the Nazi Olympics, straight and white, all across rings 4. And finally, the last one right here. What do you see?
Chili.
That is dog dicks. So be careful with your branding. Give it back to Mike, everybody. I am
Jeff.
so ready.
Jeff, that was so good.
Oh, hey, thanks, Mike.
I loved it. That is the most. It's weird that this like weird circuitous Wikipedia journey is like the most coherent set I've seen you have in a long time. That was amazing. Quarantine has been good for you.
It actually has been good for me. I haven't drank at all during it. I can't find cocaine.
So this is you sober.
This is I am sweating. I told you, Dave, this is just the way I perspire at all times. I'm always a sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah. One
This
of
is just who you are, though.
the people who have been fans of our show and come to our live show a lot know that Jeff does have a reputation for being damp under any atmospheric conditions.
And for finding cocaine on the ground.
Not in a pandemic. We're done with that life.
I feel like pandemic cocaine would be a good name for like a hardcore band or something. Jeff, a lot of people don't know that but right before the pandemic started, you used to live with me at my house in the woods and look at children and
the meth lab.
Yeah, the meth lab, which I've cleverly concealed behind them. Yeah, man, we miss you around here. You'd never let a sow chew off any of my children's ears, and we appreciate that. What's it like for you? You're down there in DC now?
I'm now in the seat of power, where it is. It's a nightmare. I was talking to you guys about it lately. It's I was ready for this terrible moment to bring us all together, and instead, it's politicized like anything else. So we either need to have the death toll go up to about 30%, or for it to be gone completely, or it's just going to be like this, where people lie about numbers and do whatever they want.
Well, you're down there in DC, man. I mean, like, I know economically things are really rough, but like, I think there are a lot of jobs at watchdog agencies opening up. So keep your eye out for that.
I was thinking of applying to the CIA, and then I logged onto their website, and it scared me so much that they were already tracking me that I logged out again real quick.
Yeah, I think if they log out quick enough, they can't catch you.
There's no way.
It's sort of like where they used to trace a call on a payphone in the old movies. Like, as long as you're only on the website for 38 seconds, they can't get you.
But I mean, don't they tap? They hire not bad people. I was gonna say I'm a bad person. They hire weirdos to be agents and analysts.
I mean, Trump will hire anyone who kisses his shoes, man. You know, so
You gotta blend in, Jeff.
I don't know if that's true. I think you just need to how what do analysts do? They just scroll Twitter all day, don't they?
I just
Jeff, are
can't
you
get over your
seriously
look
considering
right now.
trying to join the CIA?
I think they have a cutoff point, so I got to do it now or never.
You mean
Imagine your interview.
you're gonna be too old? Is that what you mean?
I think you can be too
You
old.
think that's the problem, Jeff?
I think if I
Mr.
age out, that
Steinbrenner,
becomes the
You seem to
problem.
be very well qualified for this job, but boy, you're just a couple months too old.
Don't they need people to like usurp things? I can usurp. I can overthrow. I
You're
can.
too
you sound
wet.
like real
You're
CIA
too wet for the
material
CIA.
Are you asking an Indian dog for advice about how to join the American government right now?
I just feel that I have certain skills, like, oh man, if I could infiltrate just a cocaine lab again, if they could just put me somewhere close to it again.
It's a shame all
I
the
like to give
criminals
you
aren't in a
more
4 a.m. pool hall.
Oh, the dream.
Right on. Well, Jeff, good luck with all of that. One more time, Jeff Steinbrenner,
I
everybody.
miss you guys.
I
I
love
miss
you,
the house.
Jeff.
I
That
miss
was
you guys
beautiful.
so much.
That was awesome. Miss you so much. Love you, buddy. Okay, we're gonna have Dave is gonna do a set in a minute, but before he did, I figured I thought we would reach into the archives to show an old CYSK video it was actually produced 9 years ago, but I think it's apropos of the moment. You know, a lot of people are dealing with. I'm in quarantine with my wife. Indian dog is in his apartment with his owner, and you know, a lot of people are checked up, but there are single people in this pandemic, and they're trying to navigate the world of virtual dating. And this is a really old video, but it somehow rings true to this time. So I thought we'd show it for you now. If we had a video segment that like twirled in and said from the CYSK archives or something, we'd do that. But you know, yeah, I got kids. I'm not making intros. So please enjoy my screen sharing. There we go. And then, yes, are we all seeing it? Here it goes.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket.
My name is Mike Lee. You know, there's been a lot of talk lately about the right and wrong way to send somebody a picture text of your dick. So I'm going to share today some tried and true techniques that I've found useful over the years to hopefully give you and your intended recipient the most satisfaction. Number 1, lighting. You may laugh, but lighting plays a huge role in how your dick looks. That girl you met at the bar or your best friend's sister, she won't even be able to enjoy your dick if she can't see it. So show it off, light it up. Daylight, of course, is best, but if you live near a school, even a well-placed candle or a flashlight can send a very intimate message. 2, composition. When capturing your cock for digital posterity, don't neglect composition. Always follow the 1/3 rule and have your head and shaft appear in the top third of the frame, while your scrotum is free to hang out in the lower section. Also, scale plays a major role in how your penis is perceived. Never snap pics of your dick next to something larger, longer, or wider, as this could give off a less than flattering impression. Why not showcase your privates next to something puny, like a peanut, a pencil, or a miniature model of the Empire State Building? And steer clear of cheap gimmicks like hot dog buns and crucifixes. You don't want to be gross. 3, creativity. Did you know there are over 12 billion cocks texted every single day? They all start to look the same after a while, am I right, ladies? Why not set yourself apart from the wolf pack by adding a little flair to your little partner in crime? Ask yourself, who is my penis? Is he a formal bow tie and cummerbund penis? Or more of a trench coat wearing pervert? I often put my penis in a dress just to show off his feminine side. Whatever you choose, be sure to tickle her funny bone with your funny bone. Ladies love a guy with a sense of humor. Number 4, always know the number you're texting. It's hard to believe, but many women will give out a fake number after being harassed for hours at the bar. Before you hit send, always make sure to call and hang up just to make sure it's at least a woman. All right, now that you know the rules, feel free to go ahead and break them. Remember, if it's a choice between sending a bad pic of your dick and no pic at all, go ahead and send it. I'm Mike Leibovitz. Happy texting.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around.
Okay, well,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty old one, but hopefully some of the fellas will learn something because, you know, some of these dick pics I hear are pretty gross these days. Shout out to Michael Sanchez for co-writing and directing that. That's he's one of the original Comedians You Should Know members from back in Chicago. All right, we have one last comedian. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, he's got a bunch of albums out there. He would like for you to buy them. He needs the money. He's in his parents' house. We just met his parents a little while ago before the event started. But shout out to Mary Jo and whatever your dad's name is. David Drake, everybody.
Yeah. It's Rick. Rick is my dad's name. Great. It's great to be here. I am in my parents' house. I'm visiting this week. I thought I'd come up here, knock them off. It's the only way for me to become a property owner. So I'm here for the week. I've been in New York. I've been stuck, trapped with my wife for 2 months. When this first started, she was in Chicago, and she was like, she started to see something was up. She's like, "Ooh, I think something's going on." So she asked me to go to the grocery store and stock up on food. And I was very blasé about it. I was like, "Oh, silly, stupid wife. She doesn't know what she's talking about." Freaking out about nothing. So I blew it off for a couple days. And then the day she was coming back, I was like, "Oh, I gotta go to the store." So I went to the store, and all of the food was gone. And I mean like nothing, like no olive oil, nothing. And I had to wonder, am I an idiot? Did I totally misjudge what this was? And I guess the point is, I always imagined in the apocalypse that I'd be one of the winners, right? Like I dig deep and find a violence in myself that I didn't know was there. And I'd rise up to the top of a mountain of blood and bone to lead a gang of hardened cannibal warriors to restart the world. Now I know that I'm the guy who gets to the store late and my family starves. And then I eat them on TikTok.
I
know. Hey, like and subscribe if you also miss my wife. I toss a foot to my cat. You're like, "Oh my God, he ate his wife before his cat." I don't know where to begin with a cat. I know how to eat a wife. And you don't have to think of new things to say to a cat. Honestly, I left hanging out with my wife because I just couldn't think of a new sentence to say. We've been trapped in this same one bedroom for 2 months. And I mean, if I was being honest, I ran out of things to say to her like 7 years ago. She knows all my jokes, all my stories. So every time I left the house, I was just like hoping to see something horrible. So I had something to talk about. I just like, every time I left the house, I was just like, I hope I see a body. Just one dead body could buy me a week. Otherwise, like, we're just kind of walking around and you start saying pointless things for no reason. I would be like, oh, hey, that guy's watch looks like my friend's watch. It's like, why am I saying this to my soulmate? This guy's watch looks like another guy's watch. What? Why am I telling her that? My worst habit is I work for a moving company. So when we'd inevitably pass like a building that I'd done a move in, and I'd be like, oh, I did a move in there. They have small hallways. I don't know what I wanted from that. Like, as if my wife's gonna be like, wow, you did a move in there? They have small hall. Wow, we should have sex tonight. I love this not story that reminds me that I married a 33-year-old day laborer. Tell me more about the building you moved into. I bought a video game. Speaking of things to impress a wife, I bought a video game to pass the time. And playing video games in front of your wife is the most humiliating thing in the world. They just look at you like, oh, you're the god of war. God of War spends a lot of time on the couch. God of War got a little ice cream on his shirt. God of War should seek employment. My wife, she turned the game off once, like mid-game. And I had to like pretend like that wasn't a big deal because I'm an adult. When you're an adult, you can't care that your wife interrupted your elf wizard fantasy. You have to like play real cool, no progression lost there. No big deal. Someday I hope to have a mortgage or an adult thing. You can't freak out. You got to play it cool. Even though my gut reaction was very animal, it was like, bite her, shake her, leave her broken outside as a message to the others. Don't turn off my video game. You turn off my game, I turn you off. Although I guess the easiest way to turn off a wife is just keep the game on. Yeah, she can turn it off as much as she wants if she's watching. I don't know. I can't get mad because it's just like so embarrassing that I love it. Video games are, to me, it's like a private thing. Like these are my fantasies. I don't want anybody to see my fantasies. I'd rather release my entire porn history than a list of video games I've played. That to me is less embarrassing. Like, ooh, okay, in this one, I'm a dragon assassin and I have dragon blood and I hunt trolls with magic. I'm sorry, just look at my porn history. Stepmom blows son's hot friend. That's what I like. Just kidding about all that weird troll stuff. I'm just a normal guy who wants his stepmom to blow his hot friend. I'd prefer that than my fantasy where I wander around a made-up world opening chests to find a elf-killing crossbow. I prefer you just think I'm attracted to my family. Yeah. All right. Well, it's funny. Like like over all of this, I have to like figure out who I even am now. Like I thought I was a stand-up comedian. This clearly isn't that. It doesn't exist. So it's like, all right, now what? Who am I? This is where I really begin to envy the animals. Like a deer is born and right away it knows exactly what it is and what to do. A human being is born 33 years later. They're like, ooh, should I pick up a banjo? Am I a banjo man? a deer never hits midlife and spirals out like, oh, should I start dating a fawn? What am I? But that's what I am now. I am just like, I miss comedy. I mean, we all miss comedy, and I would love to complain about it to somebody, but like nobody cares. Nobody cares about the things you love. You know, like I grew up loving koalas. Then in third grade, I had an Australian camp counselor, and I asked him if he'd ever seen a koala, and he said, "Yeah, they're like squirrels. People hit them with their cars." And I think about the casual way he said that just whenever I'm alone. The thing you love, there's people in Australia running it down on their way to work. So you can't really complain. So I don't know. I don't know what I am. I've been walking a lot. I've been reflecting. Chox likes that. Chox likes my walks. I was talking to my buddy. I think a lot of people are reflecting. He said something to me that a lot of people said. He's like, man, I wish I could just go back with what I know now. Which is basically like saying, man, I finally have what it takes to hook up with a teenager. Right? Isn't that what that is? Everybody's like, man, I wish I could just go back to high school with what I know now so I can crush math. You know? I know math so much better now. No, it's like, I want to go back because I'm finally confident and comfortable enough to hook up with Becky. I want to hook up with Becky. If I could bring this 33-year-old confidence to a high school prom, I'd be the best. That's why people say that. Yeah. All of my regrets from my past are just people I didn't hook up with. Like, I think more about the people I didn't hook up with than any of my long-term relationships or any other thing. Like, I think about those people all the time. Like in high school, I was at this sleepover, and then this girl, she climbed into bed with me, and she started tickling me, and I was like, okay, time to go to bed. I think about that every day. My wife, she's like, if you could do it all again, what would you do? I'm like, hands down, second base with that 15-year-old. Hands down, my greatest regret. When I was 14, I was walking around in the woods with Kathy. And Kathy said, wouldn't it be crazy if we made out back here? And I was like, yes. And then we didn't make out. If I could do it all again, I would crush that sleepover and I'd head straight to the woods, finish off Kathy. I don't know that's the way to say that. When I was 19, I was at this party, and this girl, she made a move on me, and I had a girlfriend at the time. So I was like, no, I will not cheat on my girlfriend. Now I'm like, come on, why didn't I just cheat on that girlfriend? Like, she was cheating on me. I knew she was. She told me, but I wanted to like have that high moral ground. I wanted to keep that. I'll tell you what, moral high ground, not worth it. I would trade every moral act in my life, every call I've given my grandma, I would trade if I could just go back and cheat on my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm glad my parents know that now. My parents are watching. All right, I'm gonna conclude this with just like high school is just like this weird thing that like haunts us all, even now, where you all have it. It's like, it's just hanging out. It's like this weird thing in the back of your head. What was crazy is like meeting the people who went to high school with like your wife, you know, like, cause to you, that's your wife. That's the love of your life. But to them, that's just some idiot who gave K money a hand job at the assembly or whatever. You know, they don't value your wife like you do. I met some of my wife's high school friends to me, my wife, her name's Alex. I call her Al. Then I met this dude she went to high school with, and I found out they used to call her the Tank. I married Al the Tank. Oh no. I thought I married a pretty lady. I didn't realize I married a fullback. When I look at my wife, I'm like, oh, I love you so much. I can't wait to build a life with you. I want to grow old with you. Meanwhile, some like dipshit in the middle of nowhere, Illinois, sees a picture of us on the internet. He's like, oh, somebody married the Tank? Oh my God. Somebody loves her. Never meet the old friends of the people you love. All right. Yeah, no, it's okay, Mike. You can come back. That's it.
All right, everyone, give it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting in the living room of the house he's hoping to inherit as soon as possible. Yeah, man, that was great. I love you.
Oh, thanks, man. I love you too.
If stuff doesn't work out up there and you don't want to go back and move in with the Tank,
I can move in with you and your 3 children and your wife.
Jeff and
Jeff.
Don't knock it, man. It's a good time.
You love video games. I'm not very good at them, so I'm just throwing that out there, but it's there.
I'll do it. Why not?
We got room for you, buddy.
I would do it just for like a documentary.
No, you can't do it for a documentary. You have to do it for the love.
Just because I love you.
Yeah, or just because the rest of your life is so terrifying or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, that was great. Everyone give it up for Dave again.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out specifically to Rick Drake. I'm sorry I forgot your dad's name. Rick and Mary Jo.
Oh, he's cheering upstairs.
Is he?
Yeah.
Great. That's great. If we can make one person cheer, even that's crazy. Is it like in order to get a reaction for an audience, it has to go through the computer, up into the internet, and back into another computer, even if they're in the same house as you.
But you know what you could do if you really want to make people cheer the way my dad just cheered? You could press participants, and then you could look at their names, and you could just, I don't know, say a couple names.
All right. Oh, that's a good idea. We'll close the show that way. Let's see. Shout out to Chris Drake.
Woo! Shout out to that.
Eric Drake. You're pretty heavy in the attendee list here.
I got the whole family there.
Shout out to Jessica Harper, JJ Heidenrich, Jordan Ashley.
Hey, Jordan Ashley, photographer.
We took some good
Our
photos.
Jordan. Hopefully she's taking some screenshots. Justin Hinn, Katie Sales, Lee Sugar. The list is just hundreds of names long. I can't go on anymore.
It's kind of like the way they end Saturday Night Live.
That's the name of everyone who watched.
Well, they start shouting out the people who are a part of it. Get it up for Lady Gaga.
Strokes.
Let's give it up though. Let's honestly, we're gonna wrap this up, but let's give it up for Gabe, Caitlin, and Julie at Littlefield for putting it all together. Thanks again to all the comedians: David Drake, Jeff Steinbrenner, Carmen Lagala, Indian Dog. I just want to say, it's like obviously we all miss you guys so much. We appreciate everyone tuning in, and it's just like running the show with you guys was the most fun thing in the world. And now that we can't, it's just a real joy to see your faces, see what you guys are up to, and hear you being funny just the same as you guys were ever funny. And as much as things are different, you guys being the same is like a sense of comfort. So I love you guys a lot. And I don't know. We'll cut it.
I love you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. All right.
Yeah, same.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
So sick.
Oh, darn.